and thank you for joining us on Nationwide News on the network service of the NTA. I am Noolyn, Abel-Ameh with the news. Let's begin the broadcast from the Ministry of Education, where arrangement has been concluded towards producing a robust curriculum for basic education in Nigeria that will be in tune with the 21st century. This was the fallout of the National Stakeholders Dialogue and High-Level Policy Committee meeting on the review of basic education curriculum. National Education Research and Development Council (NERDC) conceptualized the idea and therefore convened the meeting with State Commissioners of Education and Chairman of State Basic Education Commission and other critical players in the sector.
To say that what we have now address the need of the last 5 years, took us of addressing the current need and also show the future prospect of Nigeria. And therefore, we have all to do a lot to ensure that we are not left behind.
This curriculum was designed to attain all the lofty values of social and economic development, as well as the ethical, moral, and civic values needed to lay the foundation for economic sustenance and value reorientation that will bring about human and national development.
Our education system must evolve to prepare our students for the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century.
Designing for this country a very out and lofty strategic curriculum that will turn around educational outcomes and bring in the needed national development.
The basic education curriculum was reviewed last in 2012. Meanwhile, the federal government has announced plans to establish a national youth bank aimed at providing financial support to youth-led enterprises for economic development. Minister of Youth Development Jamila Bio Ibrahim stated this in Akure during a town hall meeting with youth drawn from the 6 southwest states.
These youths are from the 6 southwest states of Ondo, Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, and Ekiti. The relative peace in the region and the stakeholders' willingness to engage in dialogue with the federal government prompted this gathering. Impressed by their peaceful disposition, the Minister of Youth Development, Jamila Bio Ibrahim, unveiled the comprehensive policy approved by President Bola Tinubu for the Nigerian youths. This includes a 30% youth quota in all government appointments, the upgrade of youth development centers across the country, monthly allowances for unemployed graduates, and robust reform of the NYSC scheme to enhance its impact.
The working government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has acknowledged that our expressed desire for a better Nigeria.
Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, in a goodwill message, urged the youth to take advantage of the various federal government programs aimed at fostering socio-economic development in the zone.
In Akure, Paulo Mukago.
From Akure, we take you to Sokoto, where Senator representing Sokoto East Senatorial District, Ibrahim Lamido, is sponsoring more than 100 youth to undergo undergraduate and postgraduate courses at Geta University, India. The program is part of educational scholarship to youth in the constituency under the Senator Ibrahim Lamido Educational Trust Fund. Dalhatu Abdullahi completes the report.
100 youth drawn from 8 local government areas that made up Sokoto East Senatorial District are benefiting from the educational program of the senator. Senator Ibrahim Lamido, represented, stated that for applicants to be selected, they must be from the senatorial district. The courses of study at the Geta University include medicine, nursing, engineering, and other sciences. To the successful applicants, he urged them to use the opportunity wisely for their benefit, state, and the nation.
He has been supporting the student programs, and that is why whenever you see us there, definitely is something that has to do with the education and is something that has to do with the human development.
representative of Gita University, India, Dr. Umar Al-Hassan, says adequate provisions have been made for effective teaching and learning by the university management, adding that many students from Nigeria have benefited.
We are ever ready to admit those particular students and give them opportunity to study in one of the best and conducive environments.
Some of the beneficiaries bear their minds on the gesture.
These opportunities, normally, it comes once in a decade. Make sure you utilize this opportunity.
By what we do, inshallah, we will become a good ambassador.
Speakers extolled efforts of the benefactor, describing it as worthy of emulation. Senator Abel-Ameh has recently spent more than 800 million naira on the payment of registration fees for students studying at the Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, to complement efforts of Sokoto state government on educational development. In Sokoto, Alhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
In other news, the first Inter-Party Advisory Council Roundtable on the role of the judiciary in Nigeria's democratic sustainability has ended in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports that this is in consonance with the vision of IPAC to consolidate and deepen democracy by ensuring an environment conducive for successful elections, political stability, and peaceful electoral process in Nigeria.
It's the maiden series of the IPAC Roundtable. It aims to chart a way forward to deepen the nation's democracy. The Council's chairman, Yusuf Dantale, says the decision to commence the roundtable series with the judiciary arm of government is due to the fact that judiciary is fundamental to the growth of the nation's democracy.
The judiciary plays a crucial role in Nigeria's democratic sustainability. As the political leaders, we must work collaboratively to strengthen the judiciary, uphold the rule of law, and protect the principles of democracy.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Jibrin Samuel Okutepa, set the pace for the roundtable discussion on the role of the judiciary in Nigeria's democratic sustainability.
The issue of judicial reforms, the role of the electoral process, we have to be able to look at that because a bundle of work for electoral systems has been given to the judiciary, and that should not be the case.
We expect so much from our judiciary.
Chairmen and representatives of the 19 registered political parties attended the maiden roundtable. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Nigeria is competing favorably with the rest of the world in the aspects of constantly exploring available opportunities provided by technology to drive innovation. Former Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, made the observation when he declared open the exhibition conference at the 3rd edition of the Nigerian Electronic Media Content Exhibition and Award, NEMSIA, organized by the Electronic Media Content Owners Association of Nigeria, MCOAN, held in Lagos. Adiola Komiakere reports.
By the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics shows that the creative industry in the second quarter of 2023 contributed about 2.54% to the nation's gross domestic product and is projected to grow up to 10% in the nearest future, making it an important sector of the Nigerian economy that has increasingly provided employment opportunities for Nigerians. The ever-evolving Nigerian entertainment content market is using this conference to conceptualize ideas, collaborate, and promote the Nigerian brand. This year's conference focuses on leveraging technology to grow the creative economy.
We amended the broadcasting code in such a manner to give preference to local content in all forms of broadcasting.
Let us let people know why you can still remain in your business, why you should not rely too much on it, so that technology will not be the only one thinking for you.
The use of AI in creating content and deployment of strategic tools for business expansion were some of the discuss at the conference.
Not the new hardware equipment that matters, but how software interfaces with what you already have to have a better production.
Skit makers have kind of shown the world that you don't need a big camera to tell your story, even if it's a short form story.
AI will not go to negotiate for you.
you still need to use and engage your brain.
NEMSIA rewards content and productions that are educational, innovative, locally relevant, and reflective of African Nigerians' common values and cultural diversity. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakiri, NTA News.
And from Kano comes a report where Kano State government says it will work with relevant federal agencies and the organized private sector in tackling artificial scarcity of essential commodities in major markets. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf disclosed this during a meeting with members of the Kano business community. Abdullahi Mustafa has the details.
Chamber are representatives of wholesalers of essential commodities in Kano. They are on Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's invitation to find way out of incessant price hike that is making it difficult for many families to put food on the table.
The prices of foodstuffs were raised to an unprecedented level beyond the capacity or the reach of these innocent people.
However, the traders blamed inadequate supplies and activities of middlemen for the hardship being experienced. They also appealed for investigation into the closure of most flour mills and other food processing industries in Kano.
We call on the Kano State government to invite those company producing the food item, more particularly flour, spaghetti, and sugar and vegetable oil, to come and have some branches here.
We're going to discuss it with the Minister of Power to see how best our businessmen can be assisted in that regard.
The governor also mandated the Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission's chairman, Moyi Magaji, to investigate and apply the rules on those causing artificial scarcity and hyperinflation. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
It's time for us to join Sadia Umar Digi in our Sokoto Network Center for more news on Nationwide. Hello, Sadia.
Thanks for joining us. Kebbi State government has renewed its commitment to support the Nigerian Army formation in the state. Governor Nasir Idris made this known while receiving the newly posted General Commanding Officer of 8th Division Nigerian Army Sokoto at the Government House, Birnin Kebbi. Correspondent Abdul Bawa reports.
Brigadier General Abikule Ademola Ajose, the newly posted General Commanding Officer of the 8th Division Nigerian Army and Commander of the Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Hadarin Daji, has assured the people of Kebbi State of the Army's commitment to ensuring peace and security in the state. He commended the Kebbi State government for their support to the troops, which has enabled them to perform their duties effectively.
We will continue to discharge our constitutional responsibilities to best of our duties, and we will not relent in efforts to make sure that Kebbi State remains safe.
Governor Nasir Idris has praised the Nigerian Army in Kebbi State for their effort in restoring peace to the southern part of the state, which was bedeviled by banditry. He encouraged the troops to continue their relentless fight against banditry and kidnapping in the state.
We must put our hands together so that we will achieve what we want to achieve.
The governor's commendation comes as a boost to the morale of the troops who have been working tirelessly to ensure the security of Kebbi State. In Birnin Kebbi, Abdul Muhammad Bawa, NTA News.
Erosion, lack of drainage system, indiscriminate erection of structures and dumping of refuse on waterways are among the factors identified responsible for flooding experienced in Sokoto State. These surfaced during the State's Flood Control Committee tour of flood-prone areas to assess the situation with the objective of coming up with effective flood mitigation measures to protect the communities from the disaster. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports.
Gada, Kebbi, Sokoto South, Tambuwal, Benji, Wamako, Gwadabawa, and Tureta are among the 17 local government areas that experienced flooding in Sokoto State, lending credence to the 2024 Nigeria Meteorological Agency NIMET seasonal prediction. This compelled the Flood Control Committee, led by the Majority Leader Sokoto State House of Assembly, Muhammad Bello Idris, set up by Governor Ahmed Aliyu to swing into action. Its mandate is to visit all the affected communities to assess the magnitude of the disaster and recommend ways to avert or mitigate its impact. In the course of discharging its assignment, the committee gathered that hundreds of houses, farmlands, markets, roads, and property worth millions of naira were submerged, rendering the victims homeless and helpless. The visit provides a platform for interaction with the communities, victims, and local council officials who were directed to provide a comprehensive data on the extent of the devastation for onward submission to the state government. Experts in the team advise communities to desist from activities harmful to the environment and alert authorities on noticing strange birds and aquatic animals, describing such as signs that the area may experience flood disaster in coming days. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
And it's now time for some messages. Nationwide will continue in Ibadan right after. Do stay with us.
In Nationwide on the network service of the NTA, welcome to Ibadan. Oyo State has domesticated federal government-assisted grants and loans project christened NG Cares with over 5,000 beneficiaries across the 33 local government areas of the state. Correspondent Ayomiku Ajibola reports that the third and fourth batch beneficiaries of the initiative got their credit cards in Ibadan, the state capital.
These beneficiaries between the age of 18 and 45 years are unemployed and unskilled youths and women from poor and vulnerable households selected from the state social single registered domiciled in the state operations coordination unit. This program, Oyo Cares, is part of a broader emergency package with a program development objective to expand access to livelihood support and food security service.
Given this, associating them with their local government and their ward is a sign that government have engaged them in one or two things or the other.
They will get their money from January to December this year. So adequate form has been made available for this program, this year budget.
They are to work for 4 hours per day and 20 days in a month, and they collect 10,000 naira as stipend on a monthly basis.
With over 2,000 beneficiaries having access to livelihood support in the first and second round, this set of 5,000 beneficiaries engaged in the third and fourth round were presented with their payment debit cards.
I'm a makeup artist, so I will use all the money I gathered after this empowerment to buy some equipment I need for my work.
The Oyo Cares program was an emergency operation from the federal government, which was adopted by the Oyo State government and designed to support budgeted programs of expenditure and intervention at the state level. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
In a bid to address some bottlenecks and other challenges that pensioners encounter under the Pension Transitional Arrangements Directorate, PTAD, the Directorate has officially inaugurated its office in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, to bring its services closer to the beneficiaries in the state. The Executive Secretary of PTAD, Dr. Chioma Ejikeme, says the inauguration would strengthen and improve PTAD's operations in the zone. Ahmed Fulani's report is here presented.
The inauguration of the Ilorin office, which is the second in the North Central after Abuja, will not only resolve some of the bottlenecks regarding traveling to Abuja for complaints, but also address all legitimate complaints of non-payment of gratuities to some pensioners and death benefits to next of kin of deceased pensioners. The Executive Secretary, Dr. Chioma Ejikeme, explained that pension scheme under PTAD has also received a boost as the federal government has graciously approved the payment of increment of pensions with arrears by the end of August.
This is a project that we've been carrying out to let our pensioners be able to confirm their aliveness from the comfort of their homes without having to come to any verification center. So we have started implementing the result of that alive confirmation.
Since the establishment of PTAD in 2013, the pensioners testified that they have been enjoying stable payment of their pensions.
Instead of having a permanent pensions payroll that will go for years, which we don't know where the monies are going, the thing has been reducing.
We receive our money
regularly every month.
Highlight of the event was the official inauguration of the office located at the Federal Secretariat, Fate, in Ilorin. The Ilorin office is equipped with a robust complaint resolution unit, good customer support service, and email service that pensioners can make use of, which is complaint@pitad.gov.ng.
And that's it from Ibadan. Noolyn, back to you.
Very well, Kemi. Thank you very much. The construction work on the underpass project at the high-level roundabout Makudi is to be completed before the end of the year 2024. Elias Itiaf, who has been monitoring the progress of the work, got this hint from the project site engineer Ahmed Bari.
Awarded in December 2023 by the Benin State government, construction work for the underpass project at the high-level roundabout is steadily progressing with excavation, laying of the base and construction of drainage channels all completed. At the moment, ironworks as well as casting are being carried out. Site engineer Ahmed Bari, in an update on the work so far done, said the project will be completed in accordance with specifications before the end of 2024.
Work here, road and walls, maybe 3 months, 4 months finish all.
You were at Isha Bakur Road. You see the construction. The same construction is going on in Vanika. The same construction is going on in Kondi. The same construction is going on in Ushongu. That construction is going on right now in Otubo. And so the entire state has become a construction site.
At the State Secretariat complex, renovation and rehabilitation work, as estimated by the head of service, Dr. Moses Agbogode, is 70% completed. He said the complex has been automated to checkmate truancy and ghost workers syndrome with adequate electricity supply, which has boosted the morale of civil servants. It is also serving as a center for training of retirees. In Makudi, Elias Etiaf, NTA News.
And talking security now, Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji Ojo says the era of godfatherism in Nigeria's paramilitary agencies is over. This was while addressing recently appointed Deputy Controllers General and Deputy Commandants General for agencies in the Ministry of Interior. Tunji Ojo, while commending the prompt and fair promotion of paramilitary officers since the inception of the Tinubu administration, declared that godfatherism will no longer play a part in determining the career progression of officers.
Please, you don't need any godfather. In 2023, 32,000 officers were promoted in one day under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The minister also calls for more support to enable the Tinubu administration succeed. The Nigeria Immigration Service has suspended an Assistant Superintendent of Immigration 2, Opravero C. Ufoma, deployed to the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. The officer was caught on a viral video titled, "This is how immigration officers treat tourists in Nigeria," soliciting financial gratification from a traveler. The Comptroller General of Immigration Service, Kemi Nandap, in a statement says the officer does not reflect the values and ethics of professionalism upheld by the service and undermines ongoing reforms aimed at enhancing the service's standards. The CG recalls that electronic gates, e-gates, are being installed at all of the nation's international airports to facilitate smoother travel for all passengers, aims to prevent incidents like the one involving Opravero Ufoma. The statement adds that the indefinite suspension of the officer is pending the outcome of disciplinary procedures which are in accordance with the law and public service rules. The Nigeria Immigration Service reiterates its commitment to identifying and removing corrupt elements within its ranks in line with its zero tolerance for corruption policy. Resilience, loyalty, and grace are tagged the bedrock of success in life and a force to propel one to go far in life. A golden word of advice from retired Deputy Corps Marshal Bisi Kazim while delivering the 11th valedictory lecture series of the Corps tagged How I Thrived Working Closely with 3 Corps Marshals in the Federal Road Safety Corps. Oyeyemi Ajayi has details.
Indeed, a time of reflection for the former Deputy Corps Marshal training Bisi Kazim, who chronicled his journey from being the first Assistant Route Commander to rise through the ranks to becoming a Deputy Corps Marshal of the Corps, as well as the first ever Corps Public Education Officer to work with 3 Corps Marshals, aside being the first person to serve as head of operations at the zonal level for the longest period of time.
For those of you still in service, I urge you to always remain loyal and committed to our country, agency and superiors. If you are considered disloyal or found to undermine your superiors, you will not go far.
While commending the retiree, the Minister of Interior, Olubumitunji Ojo, and the Corps Marshal, Sheikh Mohammed, described him as an embodiment of charisma, leadership, and an accomplished media guru who goes any length and stops at nothing to ensure he achieves everything he sets out to do.
However, DCM, your unwavering commitment and invaluable contribution to the Federal Safety Corps have been nothing short of exemplary and extraordinary.
You didn't shut the door against future generations. You opened the door for better participation in the future. That is a legacy. You have created a legacy.
And I want to believe that if those he left behind can emulate the way and manner he conducted himself while in service, then the Federal Road Safety Corps will be better for it.
Bisi Kazim, popularly referred to in his circle as the Jagaban of FRSC, joined the Corps in 1988, and his loyalty, dedication and hard work earned him the role of the Corps Public Education Officer, a position he held for more than 12 years before being elevated to the position of the Deputy Corps Marshal training. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Mohammed Umar Ajingi in our Kaduna Network Center will be presenting the next set of reports for us from that end. Hello, Mohammed.
Noolyn, and thank you for joining us in Kaduna. Normalcy is beginning to return to Kaduna following the relaxation of the 24-hour curfew imposed by the state government to forestall possible breakdown of law and other occasions by the nationwide protests. Correspondent Haruna Muhammad has a situation report.
Kaduna is bubbling again following the relaxation of the 24-hour curfew imposed as a result of the End Bad Governance protest that became violent with looting of both public and private properties.
Unlike what is obtainable few days ago, the popular Ahmadu Bello Way is characterized with the hustle and bustle as businesses, malls and shopping complexes are back alive.
For these 2 days, it was not easy for us. It was hell, but we thank God he has realized at the call of the coffee.
At least now we have food to eat. You know, everybody's going about their normal business. There are people that if they don't come out in a day, they won't be able to search for something to eat. So it's...
You can see I just came out to look for to withdraw some money from the bank so that I can use it. For the past few days, I can't have access to money. With peace, we can make things happen.
As businesses pick up gradually across the state, financial institutions, however, remains under lock and key.
Since almost 4 or 5 days now, we are at home. No money, no income. So thank God for everything. Everything has been settled now. We are in the shop now.
We are suffering inside, and there was no food. Because now that we come out, at least it's very good.
The relaxation of the curfew from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. The residents of Kaduna are expected to comply with the curfew order as security operatives are fully on ground to ensure compliance as well as the safety of lives and property. In Kaduna, I am Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Farmers in Zaria and environs are expressing fear as rain ceases in the middle of the raining season, which is affecting the growth of plants, a situation that prompted an urgent call for prayer for God's intervention. Suraj Abdullahi takes a look at the concerns of these farmers amidst prayers for God's intervention.
In Kaduna State, rainfall around August is usually at its peak, but the reverse is the case in some parts of the state this year, as farmers in Zaria and environs have been experiencing short rainfall at the peak of this farming season, which stunted the growth of plants in the area. In some farms visited, crops like maize and the likes are drying up, while other crops such as soybeans are affected by worms and insects due to the season of the rainfall for some weeks now. Malam Usman Abubakar is looking worried, staying at home, as he is desperate for rainfall to enable him return to his farm.
This is the time we needed the rain most, but it has ceased.
This is one of the farms around Dakachi area of Zaria. As you can see, due to lack of rain for some time, the crop in this farm is drying and is likely to affect its growth.
This situation prompted the residents of Dakachi, a community around Zaria who are predominantly farmers, to seek for Allah's intervention through congregational prayers.
Considering the situation we are, rainfall has ceased for so many days, and our plants and so many things has been going down, which we have no option other than to go back to the original teaching of Islam, to pray and to seek Allah's forgiveness, to ask for the availability of rainfall in order to have a good harvest of the season.
Bumper harvest is what Nigeria is yearning for at this crucial time of economic recovery drive of government, as anything short of that might affect the anticipation of government towards food sufficiency and food security. Suraj Abdullahi, NTA News.
And that's our contributions from Kaduna. We'll now go for some commercial break, after which Noolyn will take it up from Abuja. And thank you very much for watching.
Welcome back to Abuja on Nationwide. Traditional institutions play a pivotal role in ensuring peaceful coexistence, with a constitutional role that will restore this highly revered institution to its pride of place. Many of the teething problems bedeviling the nation will easily be nipped in the bud before escalating to a festering sore. Esu Nupe, His Eminence Alhaji Yahya Abubakar, at a public lecture organized by the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs on Traditional Authority and National Integration, says the experiences of the monarchs is germane to the indivisibility of Nigeria. Joel Popola has more.
Traditional institutions ineffectively managing their subjects dates back to pre-colonial era. Even in the colonial era, the British government relied majorly on their wealth of experience to administer the country. At this public discourse on traditional authority and national integration, Esu Nupe, His Eminence Alhaji Yahya Abubakar, says, like the proverbial prodigal son, it is time to pay serious attention to some of the alternative solutions that made Nigeria of our founding fathers livable for all. The guest lecturer notes that the National Council of Traditional Rulers should be recognized beyond just advisory role alone.
The plethora of unity, security, economic and other challenges bedeviling Nigeria need the positive contributions of all and sundry to contain them. The traditional institution is perhaps the most veritable tool to be used.
We need to acknowledge in the constitutional review, maybe it's part of what should be discussed.
They are more conscious of the security because they know everybody within the community.
While conversations like this, which seeks to strengthen traditional institutions, continue, stakeholders agreed that there is need for wider consultations to make Nigeria's democratic structure align with the principles that speak to our national identity. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
In a similar news, as custodians of cultural heritage, traditional institutions in Nigeria seem to be gradually losing relevance in the role they play in maintenance of peace and order in their various domains due to some factors associated with current realities. With the full autonomy granted to the local government councils, the well-revered institution is keeping hope alive in anticipation of better relevance in the grassroots. Kenneth Nanim interacted with some stakeholders on this.
The level of government closest to the people and responsible for serving their political, social, and infrastructural needs is the local government. However, the stifling of local governments by some state governors have resulted in environmental degradation, infrastructure deficit, and lack of social services. This situation also stakeholders view as part of reasons that the traditional institutions are being relegated.
Some of the governors have appointed traditional rulers because of political reasons. And once you hold that title, people now look at you with disdain.
The role of traditional rulers should be taken seriously if we have to succeed in both our economic and security stability in this country.
Consequently, the traditional institutions domiciled in the rural communities and being the oldest form of public administration, also designed to work in tandem with local government administrators, are now hopeful that they will be well placed to perform their duties effectively as custodians of culture and tradition.
I have seen a green light. If this money, is this fine, it's been sent to the grassroots. That is our local council chairman, and they are able to utilize it. It was the aid, the transition.
Will the new status of the local governments raise the performance bar for traditional institutions in Nigeria in contributing their quota towards national cohesion? Only time will tell. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Thank you, Kenneth. Now, for Nigeria's growth trajectory to be further propelled, there is need for reorientation and attitudinal change by citizens in carrying out their civic duties. This and the need to see governance as a collective responsibility, Nigerians say, is germane for the nation to attain greater heights. Joel Popola takes a look at why some Nigerians show apathy towards civic duties.
Everyone is desirous of a better Nigeria, but many, according to experts, are oblivious of the fact that this desire can only manifest if they play their own part as responsible citizens. It is a common phenomenon for Nigerians to perform their civic duties like voter registration, collection of PVCs, and other germane identity cards when there is a stipulated deadline or serves as a prerequisite to access government services like school enrollment, access to Medicare and other essential services. This attitude is an unwanted narrative respondents say must be changed.
If we are more committed to any issue, we'll be up and doing. I was trained to be proactive to issues.
We have this nonchalant attitude towards things, and we absorb things easily. Not until we are being pushed to the wall. That is when you will see us do this, do that, to start running it and scatter to do things. So I think we can do better.
Good governance is easier to achieve with good citizens who are accustomed to the performance of civic duties.
We like to pass buck. We don't like taking responsibility. We like to look for who to shift the whole blame to. And even if the government has their own role to play, we have our own responsibility also to perform as citizens.
No doubt performing one's civic responsibility as citizen, such as payment of tax and defeating the culture of procrastination, is germane to achieve the Nigeria of our dreams. In Lagos, Joel Popola, NTA News.
Sure, Joel. In recent years, Africa has witnessed a surge in mass movement of its young people who also constitute its present and future workforce in a phenomenon colloquially known as Japa. In this special report, Mina Daniels takes a look at some of the horrific experiences encountered in the quest for greener pastures.
Migration, a constant wheel that keeps rolling. It is the nature of man to be peripatetic in search of job opportunities. For some reasons often tagged volatile economy, Africans, including Nigerian youths, journey to the woods. Here is 28-year-old Margaret, a graduate of computer science of one of Nigeria's universities and the first child of a low-income family of 5. Margaret has decided to take flight out of Nigeria. I got the wings, so I laid ambush.
We are poor. I have siblings. I finished school since 7 years ago.
Truth be told, most Nigerians in the diaspora have distinguished themselves in different human enterprises, and they constitute a financial bulwark for those countries. But there's been loads of horrific stories, some untold, about what African migrants go through while running away from their country. Let's share the experience of another Nigerian who made it to the other side.
Now, the bandits in the desert asked that a particular woman comes out from the car because they want to have, they wanted to rape her anyway, but she refused because the husband was there, because the husband resisted them. What did they do? They killed the husband. When a particular passenger is sick or becomes weak and that cannot continue the journey, what he tells the other passenger is that he does not want the weakness of one passenger to affect the smoothness of that journey.
Indeed, the federal government of Nigeria is not folding its hands and watching its youngsters taking precipitous flights out of the country in drones. The exodus of young promising Nigerians have immense effect on the economy, as these are mostly professionals in diverse fields who should be contributing to the development of their home country. The medical field is a case in point.
Most of the Nigerians relocating are the youth, and this in turn makes a downward turn on labor and productivity in the country.
Whatever the case, it is important to know that Nigeria's economic state is not a hopeless case. Government's efforts at rejigging it can be supplemented by the private sector by creating more vibrant working opportunities and environment good enough to attract and keep our young talents and subsequently boost the Nigerian economy. In Abuja, Mina Daniels, NTA News.
And talking health now, beside the Boko Haram insurgency, Borno State faces another formidable challenge known as kidney disease. The high cost of treatment is out of reach for many, leading to death and making it a significant threat to the population's well-being. Pauline Kujevana seeks to highlight causes and efforts being made to address this growing health concern.
The high prevalence of kidney disease in Borno State remains a pressing public health concern, so much that an average citizen of the state cannot claim ignorance about the phenomenon.
Intake of some toxins, like the ones that is being spread on beans, others are being spread on fish. Commonly in this environment in Borno State, life habit and the environmental temperature are the attributing factors that contributes to more kidney failure than even the hypertension and diabetes.
The state government is determined to combat this health crisis and hence set up a committee of experts to investigate further causes and develop strategies to combat the disease.
The research is ongoing and the government is waiting for the outcome. There is a proposal for the expansion of the kidney center.
To also provide immediate relief, the Borno State government established a dialysis center at the State Specialist Hospital, providing free dialysis services to patients, with over 500 to 600 sessions being conducted monthly.
In a week, somebody can spend almost 80,000. Each patient is supposed to have twice sessions a week, which means in a week, patient can spend 160,000 for dialysis patients.
Patients and their relatives have expressed gratitude to the state government for this initiative.
Kidney disease has been known for stealing souls in Maiduguri,
But the case may no longer be dreadful as before in view of this giant measure taken by Borno State government to decimate the disease. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kudovana, NTA News.
Thank you very much, Pauline. And that concludes Nationwide today. Thank you for watching. I am Noolyn Abel-Ameh. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.